Two fat guys in a microphone. Two fat guys in a microphone. Two fat guys in a microphone. Big talk, no filter.
All right. Welcome to the show. I'm Tim, Big Talk.
Ooh, look at that. Grim Reaper over your shoulder, Tim.
I know,
Paulie,
right?
no filter.
Oh, yes.
Hey, it is October, right?
It is
It's
October.
Halloween time.
It is.
It's it's one of them that time of the year. We got a little spookiness up here, but we're not talking about spookiness.
No,
this show.
not today.
The show's going to be, if you're listening to this one, this is going to be a little deeper conversations here. Part of some of our life stories here.
Couple of real life incidents.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, big time.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why we, it's tagged Flirting with Death because you want me to dive right into it, Tim? Tim here. Let me tell you something about Tim. If he has 9 lives, he only has about 7 left. Let's say that he's only got about 7 left here because
let's say 6.
Oh, 6, even more.
Yeah.
We got another one coming. I know 2.
I'll tell you one, like little thing that happened, and this may have happened to everybody out there. So, but grab onto it because there's a reason why it happened, and I'll dive into that first. Okay,
go ahead.
So, while my car was being fixed, now my dad, in Sacramento had a tire and alignment store, and I had my car in being fixed. So the loaner car I had was a Toyota Celica.
Your fat ass in a Toyota Celica?
Exactly.
Wow.
I wasn't always a fat ass. But,
that's another death you almost
right?
you skirted with.
So I'm in Sacramento, and we're in one of those streets because more and more Sacramento was bigger and bigger, where you had 3 lanes going one way, and this is just in you're just in a regular town, right. 3 lanes going the other way. So it's night, raining, and I'm at a turn lane. I'm in the turn lane. So light turns green, turn line turns green. I go, step on it. It dies. The car dies. I don't even get across the white line. It just freaking dies. Stepped on it, died. Now, remember, I've been driving this for about a week now.
Mm-hmm.
Never had this issue. Okay. Mm-hmm. People now, it dies. I can't get it to restart. People behind me are honking. And just as I looked up, here comes a big old huge box truck, like a Penske truck, blew through the red light, barely.
Wow.
If I would have turned in time, it would have just, so yeah, when we talk about miracles and stuff like that, I think that was a little baby miracle, because you want to know why? After that happened, and
car never had problems again.
I started it right up, and it went.
Wow! You
so,
see,
yeah. So
I believe in this. And go ahead. I believe in it. So I know where you're going with this, and that just brought up another story in my head to talk about too. So we got a bunch here to talk about.
So whether you believe in the universe, whether you believe in God, whatever the case is that pay attention to the little things that happen to you, because they're not just anomaly.
444. 444. I see that number, and now Jen notices it too. We see it all the time.
Yeah.
And it got to the point, Tim, where I was in a car telling a passenger in my car about the 444s. I see the number everywhere. It's on a license plate in front of me. It's on my phone or on the TV, or I'm watching a game. How much I look, just have time's left. 4 minutes, 44 seconds. Happens all the time.
Right.
I'm telling a passenger one time about this, and he's saying he had a similar thing with his brother, that he always seen a certain number. As I'm telling him this, the truck comes next to us, license plate, or on the back of the truck, 444, and the guy goes, "You couldn't have planned that. It was a semi, just came flying by me." Said 444 as we were talking about the story. So my number, and I looked it up. When I look up 444, that means your angels are watching over you. That's what it stands for. So I did my research on it, and I love seeing the number now.
Yeah.
Every time I see it, I'm like, cool. At least I know they're watching me. So, and that's what made me think about that when you said that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what we were talking about here, when we were talking about flirting with death, that's one of your incidents right there.
Yeah.
I know the other 2.
Right.
We'll start with the first one. If anybody here in Reno and people even outside the country or outside of the city, they come in, they know about the air races in 2011. 2011 air races. Tim, you were, I'll tell them, you can tell the rest of it.
Okay.
Tim was working for the bank.
Yep.
And
Credit union.
Credit union, and you had a table set out there at the air races.
A booth. Yeah.
A booth. Okay.
With the posters, the official
With the posters, right? So he was one of them guys that were nagging you, wanted you to sign up for the credit union or whatever he was trying to do out there,
and give you a poster.
Yeah, and give him a poster like they wanted the poster.
Yeah.
But anyways, the rest is on you, Tim. Tell us what happened after that. I mean, we know the news tells us what happened. We know there was a plane crash in the air races.
Right, in the air races. And the thing about it is that, you know, when you go to the air races, and we used to go every year. This is the first year I was really working it, you know, for the school. It's for one of my daughter's schools.
Right.
And so I said, yeah, I'll take it. So we did that. We're out there every day, right? Starts on Thursday, ends on Sunday, you know, the whole works. And there's the unlimited class. Okay. And these are anywhere from jets. Usually they're like P-51 Mustangs. Rare Bear is the one that has a hangar here. It's our local hero guy.
Gotcha.
The guy out of Florida was flying a P-51. You know, he was about 70 something years old. Not saying that the age was the problem.
No, the age. Yeah, age. They know what they're doing. Them guys are pretty skilled,
right? And
they're pilots. They've been flying for years.
And you got to remember, this is races, so it's like, you know,
you want to beat the other guy.
Well, yeah, and so you're making your plane as light as it can possibly be, and this and
we would never be in those planes.
No, we would never be in those planes.
We just wanted to clarify that so you guys know that.
But the thing about it is, I'll tell you this, and this will add to the story, is that right before that, they were selling tickets to go up into like a T6, which is the same kind of biplane.
Them small planes that I would never get into. Go ahead.
Right. But you know, for $10 you can buy your ticket, you know, or whatever, you know, so
we like a carnival ride, but no thanks.
Yeah, exactly. No, I was down. Okay. I was definitely down. So we're there. Well, the big boys are racing, you know, so, you know, you have workers at the booth. So we left the booth, had my daughters there. We're watching the races, and then all of a sudden, what they're trained to do is they get as high as they can, because they know, right? The crash is not the thing that they know is going to happen, but if they get high enough, what they can do is kind of glide down, as long as it's not a pitch straight down.
Right.
You're not pulling with no engine power.
And this one at the time,
started to climb. Okay, he came around the corner. He was like in third, so doing real well. Came around the pylon, started to drift over the pits, and come over. And he took it up, and he didn't have the power. It died, came straight down, and so
into the stands where you guys were.
Hold on, it went to the stands.
Okay,
but that's where everybody gets confused.
Okay,
because where it was is that you have the stands. And then what they do is sell about 100 yards of VIP.
Okay.
So that's the area we were in.
This thing, where the plane came down, and you know that you probably know numbers. How many people got killed?
Yeah, and I don't even think they were right from the NTS. They were saying 9. I know it was in the 30s.
Wow,
for sure, because I was there.
Yeah, you were there.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about this. I mean, you were so close that you actually had other people's like body parts and bloods and, you know, guts were, you know, all over. And it's tough to talk about, but it's real life. It happened to you.
Well, and I think where it really hit me, where I really realized that maybe this was kind of like a war, what a war zone would look like.
Yeah, hang on, we might have some technical difficulties going on here. Oh, okay, we're good.
Okay, yeah, all right, Downsy.
I thought we did. Squirrel. Okay.
So anyhow, they sell these bleachers. I mean, they sell these VIP seats. So of course you're closer to the, you know, runway and stuff like that.
Right.
So it came down right at the outside of that, you know, like across from it, right? But close enough,
right?
Like, because this thing didn't even, when it hit the runway pavement, came down like a bullet, like somebody was just dropping something out of the sky that was heavy. It literally, the force of the crash, there was no explosion. Remember, there's gas and stuff. Of course, they're only putting enough gas.
Might have wasted some of the fuel going up though on purpose so he didn't.
Right, exactly. There's all kinds of. I'm not a pilot. I'm definitely an amateur. Anything, right?
Right. No, it makes sense
when it comes to that. But when it came down, and it put a crater in the pavement. Disintegrated the plane except for, and this is why engine parts, plane parts, propellers went everywhere, and that's what started to kill people.
It's like a bomb, shrapnel spraying out everywhere.
Exactly, and that's what happened. And I'm gonna, and since we're saying this, because I want everybody to know what you witnessed, right? But the thing is when then we were starting to kind of try to help where people were.
Oh, it looks like it looks like he's getting it up there for us.
Yeah, exactly. See, there's no,
we don't have it yet. It'll get there in a minute.
Yeah, and there, when it gets it up there,
there it is, right there.
There's no ball, there's no fire.
No, it's just you can see the metal and everything going everywhere. Right there. I'm sorry to bring this up. It's probably little for you. It's got to be yeah.
No, that's okay. You can leave it up because that shows the force of it. So the people that you see at the end of the of this picture, you got the guy facing the wreck. Yeah. And then you see all the little people that are
that's too close for people. Comfort.
And so this stuff came flying. You can't duck that.
No,
you know what I mean? It's like someone throwing a baseball at you. Even if it's coming at you fast, you have a chance to see it and move.
Right. You can't. You even though you knew it was coming, you couldn't. You didn't expect it to fly the way it was.
Right. So
here you are, still talking to us about it.
Right. But the thing is that here's the really sad part is that when you're trying to help people and do what you can do. I remember moving these two chairs apart, and right in front of me was part of a leg still in the shoe, and you
weren't in the military, so you're not used to this,
right? No, 100%. And then an opposite kind of shoe, like a larger shoe, like it was a man and a woman, sheared off, just sitting there. As you moved the chairs, here's these tennis shoes with feet in them, but no body. Oof. So, and then the next thing, and I know that, but this is something that we just need to talk about, is that, remember I was telling you about the poster, right?
Yeah.
So had this kid come up, and when I say kid, probably anywhere between 17 and 19, but full on chair, like he was paralyzed, from the neck down.
And he wanted a poster.
Quadriplegic.
Okay.
Yes, and he wanted a poster. So he got a poster at the booth.
Right.
And so one of the things is that because he was in that chair, he was at the very front of that crowd in the VIP section. And when I saw him, he was just laying back, and he didn't make it. He passed away from it, and that I think was the saddest part. Now the whole thing was sad altogether.
Yeah.
So many lives lost.
Yeah, and that was one. I mean, it's nice to be able to tell the story about it, and you're still here to talk about it. That's the thing.
Yeah, because if he would have taken that plane into the bleachers, there would have been a lot more casualties.
Right.
So,
I mean, he might have saved lives, if anything.
Well, and that's the thing. And there, the people that are pilots and stuff, they were talking about this for a long time. Right. So, could he done any different? This, that, and another. Was it his fault?
Yeah, they went on and on. But you lived, you happened to live through it, and you didn't. Right. That's what I'm saying. That's what we're talking about. The show is Flirting with Death. That's one of Tim's. And I'll give you one of mine.
Yeah, please.
And I don't know if I've ever told you about this or not, but I was working in a nightclub in New York. I was on compensation. I hurt my back at work. And that was for the people that know me back there.
Right.
I hurt my back and I was off on comp. So I was working the door at a nightclub. It was a hip hop club.
Okay.
And there's a song that I play all the time when I'm at the hangar and stuff. I play it, and it reminds me of this night because it was the hottest song at the time. It was called it's from hang on, it'll come to me. Okay. But anyways, I'm working the nightclub. I'm working at the door, checking IDs. Okay, I'm just to make some extra money on the side, right? And at the nightclubs, they didn't start hopping till about midnight.
Right.
So I get there about 10 o'clock.
Sure.
Dead. Maybe 5 people in there at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
By midnight, there's 250 people in there. They come like boom. They showed up and they all come in their cars. Boom at once.
Yeah.
Okay. So Bone Crusher is the name of the song. I ain't never scared. I ain't never scared. So that's the song that was playing that was hot at the time. Okay.
Right.
So I'm outside of the club and you know, you think I'm a punk, loaded 9 in the trunk. That's the song, right?
Right.
So here's what happens. I'm going to work. Every week I'm working there. No big deal. This night I show up at 10 o'clock. And I was getting a lot of grief from some of the police officers that worked in the city because I worked on the ambulance back there. So I knew a lot of the cops, and a lot of cops went to school with us, so we knew them. And they were giving me a lot of shit. Why are you working at this black nightclub? And all these black guys, blah, blah. They were using the N-word, let's be honest.
Right,
I'm not going to. But they were saying, why are you working there? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? So they were giving me grief. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to hear this shit. So I go to my boss, Pat McEwen. Pat, I go, hey, Pat. I'm gonna go home tonight. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm gonna quit tonight. And Pat was like, yeah, whatever. You know, if you want to, no big deal. It wasn't that big a job. You know what I mean? But I didn't want to stick him, so I told Pat I'm gonna leave. So I leave. I go home. 7 o'clock. My buddy Rich Ness got me the job. Rich Ness calls me at 7 a.m. And I'm thinking to myself, if Rich is calling my phone at 7 a.m., something's wrong.
Something's wrong, right?
So I answer the phone. He goes, hey, you quit last night? I go, yeah, I quit. He goes, 2 people got killed. 32 shots at the door. Now, mind you, Tim, I'm fat. Okay.
Right.
I was way bigger. I was 500 pounds at the time I was working the door there.
Oh, wow.
So I'm taking up not this much room. I'm taking up this much room at the front door.
Right.
32 shell casings, they said they found in the front door of that building. If I don't quit, I'm not here talking about it.
Right. Right.
What made me quit that night? I couldn't tell you.
Right.
So when we talk about the things that make you something watched me, something made me quit that night.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you what it was. Rich was like, you're lucky you quit. I mean, they 2 people dead out of, and what they did is we wanded them. So they go into bars with no guns.
Yeah.
They're in the trunks. So I'm outside of the club and you think I'm a punk. That song just sticks in my head every time I hear that song. They went out to this car and shot up the front door. And luckily I was home sleeping, or I wouldn't be here telling you a story. So, I mean, like you said, I get the whole spiritual thing.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason. It wasn't my time. It wasn't your time.
Right. Right.
And that's leads me to my next thing that I'm talking about. I've always said this. I said it during COVID. I was driving. When I could, I worked, when we could, when I got back out to it, people were putting up plastic shields in their Uber cars and all. I didn't even wear a mask. We had to take with our masks on.
Yeah.
And I take a picture and then the people get in and go, you want to wear the mask? I go, no, if you don't want to, you don't have to. We'd all come off. Look, COVID was real.
Yeah.
I wasn't out licking door handles.
Right.
I respected it, trying to be safe, but I wasn't going to. People are still wearing masks, but anyways, I lost a good friend, buddy Cliff, to COVID. So I knew it was real, but when it comes to real, you talked to Cliff's wife right before that.
Right.
And this is another one that Tim, go ahead, Tim. I'll let you tell it. You lived it. You tell it.
Again. Yeah, I know. It's like, and I should be careful with you because I only have a few more lives left.
You're safe with me.
Yeah. But no. So got COVID, and I want to tell the whole thing if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
This may help some people out.
That's why we're here. That's why we're doing this.
Got sick like I had the flu, and so I'm drinking NyQuil, taking everything. Nothing's helping. I'm just getting worse. So I got to go to the bathroom, and just even that walk to the bathroom took me about 15 minutes. I had to stop, breathe, barely got there, was able to get there everywhere, right?
Right.
So from the bathroom, I'm calling 911 for, an ambulance. And so what you do, you call, you let them know that you feel you have COVID. Right. But
the difference.
Yeah.
Cliff didn't.
Yeah.
He waited too long and she had to go find 22 at the time, I think, when she found him, which was way too low. But at least you made the call.
Right.
He was being stubborn. You didn't be stubborn, at least.
Right.
I mean, I miss the guy, I love the guy, but God, if I could smack him and tell him, I kept telling him, let me come get you, I'll take you.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't listen. He wouldn't let me come get him. He's no, I don't want you to get it. I won't. I'll roll the windows down, we'll drive, and I'll be good. I wasn't worried about it.
Right.
So I tried, but you didn't. So go ahead. You didn't do the stubbornness, or you wouldn't be here telling us about it.
Right. So but anyways, the thing about it is that before that, a couple days before that, got in the car and CVS had a drive up line that you could stay in your car, and through the tube they would send you the COVID thing and then send you the results.
Right.
So that was like 2 days before I ended up calling for the ambulance. All right. So I do that. Tell them that I think I have COVID. They have they have their protocols.
Right. You tested, right?
Right. So I tested, but I hadn't gotten the results back yet. But
right.
I couldn't smell, taste. So it's really interesting because your ambulance drivers, you were one of these, an ambulance driver.
Yeah.
Is that they were in hazmat suits. So like if you said you had COVID, and literally because I'm a big guy, they couldn't carry me out of the house.
Tim, we have a saying for that.
Yeah.
We used to do this. And anybody in the medical field, you guys know your ABCs.
Oh,
ABCs, airway, breathing, circulation. If you've ever been in any kind of medical field, you know that those are what they are. Ours were ambulate before carry. Our ABCs were ambulate before carry. If you can walk to the ambulance, you can walk there.
Right.
So
exactly.
you were an ABC candidate.
Definitely, because then I had stairs going out the front porch.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, you were definitely walk. Come on, you can walk. Follow me.
And I think one of them was female. Kind of small. She wouldn't carry me.
No.
But okay, it took me a while, but I got there to the stretch. They're very careful doing my vitals and stuff like that because they're sending them to the emergency room. They're sending those vitals there, right? So then I get there, but it's not like this was in July, right? So it started in March, April is when they got it,
So they're getting a handle on a little bit by now.
A little bit of it, but and this was again in California. So they take you, and I'm sorry that this is lengthy, but I think it's important.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because these are the COVID, then you know nothing about this, right?
Right.
So
you took it to the extreme of COVID.
Right. So you get there, and then they test you in the emergency room. Nothing they can do for you. They don't do anything to make you more comfortable or anything like that. And they come back and they say, yes, you got COVID. And here's where the action happens. Because once they said I had COVID, then they had 7 people coming down to get me.
You were a priority at this time.
At this time.
And in case they got it, at that time, in case they got to move you or they needed help.
Right. Exactly. So I'm going to the ICU with 7 people because they're literally stripping me down, rolling over, taking off my clothes. Everything is going on. And then I've got somebody with an Alabama accent, a nurse, that she was my calming person. She's like, with that accent, sir, you're going to be just fine. I'm here. This is my name. I'm here to take care of you.
Southern hospitality.
Exactly. So I feel good with her, but 7 people really were on me.
Right.
Get me all, change, washed down. Like they were scrubbing me, my whole body.
Right.
And so they get me in the ICU, incubate me, which means
this is the part that when I say flirting with death is that guys your size, that made it in the hospital, ventilator,
didn't come out. No.
And here you again, plane didn't get you, COVID didn't get you.
I know.
Hanging out, you ain't got to worry.
So no, and so yeah, and I'm there. Now you gotta understand these.
Now, when you're on a ventilator, do you know that can you hear everything and see what's going on?
Oh yeah, because it's just a tube going down your throat.
Okay,
you can hear fine.
Okay, that's the worst part, probably.
It is, because I'm going to tell you why. I'm up in the room now. These rooms look like if you ever saw The Walking Dead first episode when Rick is in the hospital because he was in a coma, comes out in the hospital.
Addison shaking his head. Yeah,
he knows what exactly right. So, it was, in the ICU they have glass doors and in the room.
Right.
They
You can
go
see
from
it.
room to room.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Those were all taped.
Oh.
off.
Yeah, because
right.
they don't want anything to spread.
Yeah, going back
Not
and
that
forth.
most people in there had it anyways, but
Right. Yeah, well, pretty much what they did, unless it was different.
right.
But anyways, then they had this big 6 foot by 6 foot wide fan with a duct, attached to it,
Right.
and blowing, in through the ducts and wherever it was blowing to, right?
Right.
This thing's going, it's loud. I mean, we're talking like airplane loud,
Wow.
right? But
So you didn't get much rest in there.
you learn to kind of like the sound kind of puts you to sleep,
Right.
But so the doctor and the nurse, the doctor handles the floor, but each COVID patient had their own nurse.
Right.
So they weren't bringing 2 or 3 because if somebody got it,
Right.
so you
limit the spreading ability.
Right. So the contact.
Yeah.
So anyways, the nurse and the doctor are looking me over. He checks me over. He's not too close. He's just looking at my vitals and stuff like that. Which yes, I was at 50%.
And you can hear everything they're saying.
Hear everything you're saying, and this is what the doctor tells the nurse: says that I have a 25% mortality rate. And that's when I perked up and I was like, hello. Now I couldn't talk, but this is going on in my brain.
Right.
Hello, I'm sitting right here. So basically what that means is they give me 25% chance to live.
Right. And you hear this.
And
so you're thinking, what the hell?
Yeah. So I'm now thinking, how do I get a hold of my daughter? How do I get a hold of my family?
You can't. You got it. You're innovative.
Nobody's allowed to come up.
Right.
Well, there's no visitors.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
You know how I know that?
How?
Same thing. Jen got sick during that time.
Yeah.
Coughing, and I made her go. And I thought maybe she had COVID. Right. I really did. And I'll never forget this. It was scary when you say family.
Yeah.
I take her to the St. Mary's. I walk her to the door. They won't let me in.
Right.
And the next phone call was I called my mom. It was like 2 a.m, her time in New York.
Right. Oh.
So I call her and she answers the phone. And what's going on? And I'm crying. I'm going, that might be the last time I see my wife.
Yeah. Right.
Because I didn't know.
Nobody knew.
Thank God she didn't have it. They let her go an hour or so later. She just had like bronchitis or something. But when you say the family wasn't allowed, they wouldn't let me in the door. I let her go, and that might have been it.
Yeah, nobody.
That was scary, very scary.
And I was in there for 28 days.
Yeah, wow, 28 days.
25% chance to live.
Did you lose weight? I'm trying to make it funny here.
I know you're trying to make it, and I'll tell you why. But anyways, so I'm on the ventilator for about 6 to 8 days, right? Take that out because I'm my oxygen's coming up a little bit, but not, they won't release me until it's at least 86.
Right. 80,
right.
Yeah.
And I was hovering around 65 all this whole time.
You're staying. Yeah.
I'm staying. But anyways, so then they bring in my food, right? Now, mind you, you're awake every 2 hours. And here's why, because they're coming in and taking x-rays on a mobile thing.
On your lungs and stuff.
On your lungs, your chest, and your heart. Pneumonia. Right? And then the other 2 hours, then they're taking blood. Mm-hmm. And this goes for 24 hours a day.
Yeah, I know.
So you're only sleeping at 2 hours at a time because they're coming in and waking you up, which is fine. I'm just saying. But
right.
It's not like you're in the hospital and you could sleep forever.
Right.
So we get through that, right? But they're bringing in my food, like freaking breakfast sandwiches and for whatever I can eat, when it comes out, everything's IV before, but so when it comes out and start to eat and loving it, I'm getting, they give you a little thing you can order from. So, but then when my blood sugar started to get too high, then I'm on a diabetes diet. So next thing you know, they bring in.
So you beat COVID. And they're trying to kill you with a diet.
And they don't tell you because it's like they bring in eggs and fruit.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, I look at the nurse. I'm like, well, what's this?
Well,
the doctor.
That goes like what we said. It wasn't your time, Tim.
Yeah. No,
it just wasn't your time.
It wasn't. And then finally, I got put in a regular room. But again, creepiest thing, because when you had to go have a CAT scan or an MRI or something like that, which I did, you go down the hallways, nobody.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was an eerie time
yeah,
for everybody.
it was so
it was. I
freaky.
mean, we could say we
Yeah.
lived through a pandemic. Not too many people can say that. But
Even when I got picked up to leave, they take you up to the roof. There are no other cars up there. It's like you're like at the end of the world type of thing.
so I'm going to tell you another story about mine. This wasn't flirting with death, but it goes to what we were saying about the spiritual part of it.
Right. Okay.
I'm here one day. I'm going to the Bonanza now. I've been going to the Bonanza for 20 years since I've lived here.
Right.
Betting every day out there. Okay, so I'm on my way to the Bonanza. I'm in a work truck, and it's a beat up old truck, and I'm coming down to go towards, the what's it called, Reno exit to go down towards the Bonanza.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm there, and there's a guy on the side of the road pulled over. His car broke down, and he's walking. So now I got 5 minutes to get to this game. I'm betting a hockey game. I'm flying to get there. Okay.
Right.
So I stop and I go, hey, he gets in. I go, you need a ride or something? He goes, yeah, can I use your phone? I go, sure. I said, but look, I'm going down here to bet this game. I'll drive you back to your car. He goes, yeah, no problem. Thank you. So I drive him down. We're talking down there. On the way down there, nothing. He says, hey, can I borrow your phone? I'm going to call and, tow truck and this and that. I go, yeah. And, I told him I was going to go bet. And I run in. I leave him in the car. He could have stole the truck. I didn't know this guy.
Yeah, right.
He could have stole the truck. So I go in, I make my bets, and I come out. Now, this is where the spiritual comes in. Do you remember this story? Did I ever tell you the story?
No, you never told me.
Okay. So this is where it starts getting, where the spiritual comes in, or
Okay.
where the believing. If you believe, you believe.
Yeah, exactly.
The guy, I get back in the car, and the guy goes, oh, so who'd you bet? And I said, well, I bet some hockey and stuff. And he goes, do you know why you picked me up? And I go, no. And now I'm thinking, all right, now it's, I'm like, here it goes. He goes, there's a reason why you picked me up. And I go, okay. He goes, God sent me to send a message to you. And I went, and this, on the way there, nothing, it didn't show this sign at all.
Right.
And I go, okay, what was the message? He goes, well, something good's going to happen this Thursday and something bad's going to happen in November. And I said, okay. I go, he goes, but he needs people like you to keep doing what you're doing. And he wants you to know that, he's watching you and stuff. And I go, all right. And I'm thinking, okay, cool. Right. The guy's a spiritual guy.
Right.
So he goes, we get there. I drive him back to his car. I pull up, drop him off. And he goes, who'd you bet? I said, matter of fact, it was the day before the Super Bowl. Now it just hit me. New England and the Giants game.
Ooh.
Everybody remembers the game.
So I'm in the Super Bowl pool, remember? And I won it because of what happened.
Okay, you're right. So that's the game. So he goes, who'd you take? I said, I bet New England. I love New England. He goes, take the Giants. He goes, trust me. Look what happened. The Giants beat them. I mean, it's coincidental. If you don't believe, you're going to say coincidental. But here's where even more. So I go, I leave him, right? And I call my mom and I'm telling her about it. And she goes, Paul, my mom goes to church faithfully all the time.
Right.
Her and Mark. I got to send a shout out because Mark watches the show he watches our podcast all the time. So
okay.
Love you, Papa Mark. So I call her and she tells me, she goes, it could have been God himself. He comes in any shape, any size. And now I'm thinking to myself, man, was I just sitting next to the man, the man that just told me? So I take it a step further. He tells me where he's supposed to take his car. I think we were talking about, he said, so-and-so's coming to take it to Ford to fix it. I think it was a Ford Explorer or something. So I call Ford asking if they towed a car in there. No, never had a phone call from a guy. I look on my phone. There's no calls on my phone. I mean, I'm getting, look, my hair's standing right up. Look at it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, no phone calls on my phone. No car reported at Ford coming in there. They didn't pick no tow truck company picked up this car. It didn't exist.
Yeah.
But I picked up a guy. I know I had a guy in my car. I know I talked to him. I know I had this conversation.
Right.
I mean, that's crazy. My hair just went. But so when we talk about flirting with death, I mean, we have angels that watch us. When it's our time, it's our time. You can't control it.
Yeah, no, you
can't do it.
You can't.
Mean, so here's my advice to you guys out here watching this show, and hopefully, I know it's a little long for us here, and we're winded a little bit, but live your life, live it, because you don't know when you're not going to be here no more.
Yeah.
Go live it. I mean, I'm not saying go, do something crazy and get killed doing it, but I mean, don't not live your life right now. You're only here. When it's your time, you're gone. That's it. You're over. It's over.
Well, it is kind of like us doing the podcast.
Yeah. Well, that's what I tell people.
Tim,
there's a reason why we're doing this. You called me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you said you went through some people?
Yeah, I went through at least 15 people that I wrote down a list of everybody I wanted to, who would be, I think would be good, basically having that, chemistry.
Right.
And
16.
yeah,
I was 16.
yeah. And just, I kept coming back to circling your name.
And that's what I tell people. There's a reason why you're still here. And there's a reason why. So there's a reason why we're out here talking to you guys and we're doing this show. I mean, we're going to catch our niche. We're going to, if you're following us and hopefully you're enjoying our shows, they're only going to get better from here. We're only going to get better.
And hopefully we will be popular like that, because they got some good material. But, until then, we're here grinding it out.
Yeah. And I mean, we want to touch a little bit of true stories in our life that, and they're not, they're important to us. They're probably not important to you, but you might look at this and go, oh, I can see where, how this,
that's the thing
could change you
is that I think, these incidents, happen all over the place. So
I'm sure other people have them too.
So when somebody's listening to this, putting this out there is it's not just you.
Right.
These things,
it happens to a lot of people. And when people tell me that, I believe them because I've lived it.
Yeah.
How
I used
could I
to
not?
think they were nut jobs.
Yeah.
But but it's like now, after all those things, just the little things, the car thing blows me away more than COVID and the plane crash. Because it just
was spiritual.
Was like,
there was a reason why it happened at that moment.
There's no reason for that car to die.
Right.
There's no reason for it at all.
The reason was it wasn't your time.
It wasn't my time because that person coming barreling through there.
Yeah.
And
you were done.
100% done.
Yeah, you were done.
But
my mother-in-law used to live with us here.
Yeah.
And she used to say this house was haunted. And I thought they were nuts.
Yeah.
Her, my wife, and my daughter, Amanda will tell you, she still thinks they all think his house was haunted. And I being from New York, hey, yeah, sure, go fuck yourself. Yeah. I didn't want to hear none about it.
Right.
Until I seen it myself, Tim.
Uh-oh.
I'm sitting on the couch downstairs. Jen had bronchitis or she was coughing. I couldn't sleep. So I went downstairs so I could sleep. I'm sitting on the couch and I hear, and I look in the car seat. My grandson's car seat was rocking. And there was nobody in it. So first thing I'm thinking, my son's up there with a string. Joey's up there with a string. And he's pulling with a fish string. He's messing with me.
All right.
I do this, nothing, right? The thing's still rocking. I ran upstairs so fast, Tim. I checked for an air vent. I said, there's an air vent that's probably blowing air.
Oh, 100%. I would too. Yeah.
The thing was rocking on its own.
Yeah.
Scared. At that moment, I became a believer. I've had friends, Travis and them, we over drinking, people, we'd go to bed. They were downstairs and they seen people walking through our kitchen. And they're watching this, they'll tell you. They said it. And I'm going, to me, I went, yeah, I know. I've heard there's people here, it's haunted. Yeah. I've heard that. Not anymore. We haven't seen it in a long time. But at the time, I believed it. After I seen that, I believed everything. When he said he saw people walking through my kitchen, Travis told me I woke up the next day, he told me, he goes, you had people here in your kitchen. You know that, right? I go, he goes, nobody was here, right? I go, no, nobody. He goes, I seen people. And I go, yeah, it's the house. It's haunted. And so that spiritual shit, man, especially, it's coming up October, Halloween.
Yeah, no, I know. And something about the COVID story, that I wanted to, say as well, is that that's the thing, is that when you go through something like that and it, and you have that experience, here's where it became going through it was real. Yes. Right. But a nurse comes in when I'm in a regular room and she says, the Department of Health in California wants to contact you. Would it be okay if they called you and, it'll come through on the phone, right? So I'm like, sure, no problem. So they call and, they're talking to me and stuff and said, glad you're doing a little bit better and stuff like that. Would you be willing to donate bone marrow so that it could be studied, because you technically should not be with us? Right. No. Yeah. They want to know what you had that the other people that died didn't have. Right. And the thing is this.
Did you ever hear anything about that from them?
No, they never followed up, and I never followed up with them. All I know is that the $180,000 bill that I got in the mail said at the bottom of it, my portion I owed, $0. They covered it all.
And that's
yeah.
good. They
So-
should, since they let the shit come in from China. But that's a whole nother show.
right. But that's kind of the the moral to kind of like all of this. It's like knowing that obviously all signs were I should not be here.
Right. And you are. And there's, like I said, that's the reason why we're here. That's the reason why we're doing the show. And the reason why, I think that there's things out there we're going to talk about and we're going to bring up and that could do something for somebody good.
Right.
And
exactly.
and if we do, that's why we're here. That's why we're doing this.
Right. So we're sorry for, this being more than our normal 30 minute show.
We want to talk about it though, but
yeah, we, just, and we want to be able to hear from your stories too, or somebody say, yeah, that happened to my dad or that happened to my brother.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
On YouTube, when we put these out on YouTube, there's a comment space back there underneath it. You can comment on any one of our videos.
Yeah.
And believe me, I watch it. I watch them over and over and I check them all the time. I'll see it and I will respond to you, or Tim will respond to you. Somebody will respond to you. You want to leave a comment on YouTube when if you want to, and make sure you guys subscribe and like us, because we're getting up there now. We're getting some likes, we're getting some subscriptions. I stuttered on that one.
And we're going to be newly sponsored by the Grim Reaper.
Yeah, you like that, huh? All right. On that note, we dragged this one out a little bit here, but these are real life stories, and hopefully you have the same kind of stories and you want to share them with us. Comment on YouTube with us.
Absolutely. So I think that's going to wrap it up for today. We'll tell you about our sponsor real quick and be able to, just plug him too. Because, this has been great.
Elite Garage Door. Hey, get your garage doors. Right now, you're going to be getting ready for Halloween. You're going to be opening and closing it, handing out candy and stuff. So make sure you get it serviced and checked. Elite Garage Door, 775-323-3667 or 775-323-DOOR. It's easier.
Exactly. Give them a call.
Give them a call and they'll come out and give you an estimate, give you the best prices in town.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. That's going to.
Two fat guys in a microphone.
Right?
Two fat guys in a microphone. Big talk, no filter.